Hey Leo, how you doing? Let's get right into this, see what's going on for you. Messages for Leo, Celtic Cross, Ancestor. Leo, you could be dealing with a Taurus, Hierophant. Hierophant is, Taurus. Can be someone learned, spiritual, someone, organizations, governments, religion, tradition. Can be structured beliefs. Someone who's very learned. Spiritual in the organized sense. Eight of Swords. Struggle. So, what's blocking your spirituality, your connection to the divine? Your structure, your beliefs, the struggle. Eight of Swords. This can be feeling stuck. This can be feeling oppressed in some kind of way. Like your hands are tied, like even like I can't, what do you want me to do? Like, how much can I do? Like, I feel like imprisoned or stuck somehow. Even kind of victimized. Maybe you're victimizing yourself. Maybe it's getting in the way of your structures, of your routines, of your discipline, even your connection to the divine. Maybe there's more structure that's needed in your life, your foundation. All these major, you have a lot of two majors out of three. The Chariot could be dealing with a Cancer. Moving forward. Going forward in a new direction. Can have a trip or a long or short travel. Moving away or towards something in particular. You're ready to start something brand new. You're ready to leave this struggle or feeling stuck. I feel like Mercury retrograde has been really hard for you, Leo. And I've been feeling that as well for myself. You left something behind because you were sick of feeling oppressed. You wanted to get more in connection with your divine, but it's something about a lack of structure or discipline that's keeping you from it because all of the struggle that you have to go through day to day. Initially, you moved away from something that felt oppressive, but you found this place that you are now, you feel just oppressed. In the past, 9 of Pentacles. This is feeling like tradition. 9 of Stones. In the past, you could have had like you held on to some kind of rigidness, some kind of old beliefs or structures. Usually, the Nine of Pentacles or Nine of Stones, it talks about independence. It talks about, taking care of yourself, your home, your garden, your resources. This can be a sense of like, you wanted to get back into the root of things. In the past, you had a certain like foundation or resources set up, but you've had a lot of struggle. Maybe this Mercury retrograde, you just had a lot of issues that it whittled away in your finances or savings. When you did feel comfortable, and it's like one issue after another, like maybe it's car issues on top of electrical issues, on top of washer and dryer issues, on top of like you try to get, your washer and dryer broke and you got a new one, and then that starts leaking, and then electricity goes out, and it's just one thing after another, and it's just money after money. Your dog gets sick. It's just constant. And, when you felt really like secure in some way, it was like one issue after another. It just piled on and on and on. And now you don't feel as secure as you used to. This idea of wanting to get back into family, home, tradition, of feeling okay, it seems like a distant memory. And you had a goal to go towards something, and I felt like you had a good like progress towards it, but something just keeps setting you back, and that's just the constant issues, putting out constant fires, like trying to fix problems that whenever you try to fix a problem, it just gets replaced with a new problem. There's some self-limiting beliefs and traditions that you kind of have been holding you back as well. Self-limiting beliefs, and maybe it's like you've had a lot of struggle within your life, and you've had a lot of people who brought struggle towards you, and perhaps they made you feel oppressed in a lot of ways, and maybe in order to keep you kind of oppressed, they, took a chip away at your self-conscious, your self-esteem, to kind of keep you in place, because Leo, you're so dynamic, you're the sun. You can be all-encompassing, and sometimes people want to put out that light. Your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be achieved. Three of Arrows is jealousy. That's interesting that that's your goal. What are you jealous of, Leo? Of feeling stuck? Of having to do it all on your own? Of having a support system that you never really felt that you had? You could have had a relationship or a family situation, or just like You know, it's a long line of just constant struggle and like relationships that don't work out, family that just worked kind of against you, and try to keep you stuck as where you are and able to harness that energy from you. Or people who try to, you know, like put their will on you or their kind of idea of, you know, what would be the right thing for you in some kind of way. But you know that there's going to be, your goal is like heartbreak of jealousy. Why would that be your goal? Because you have to do it all on your own? Because you felt like the people that did take advantage of you kind of got over you in some kind of way, and now you have to be left behind to pick up the pieces? It seems like you had a foundation, a steady foundation. It could have been a relationship. You could have been, you know, in a long-term relationship or marriage, but then all of this constant struggle started to come about due to jealousy. You feel jealous about your something that's going on with your partner. Maybe your partner is in some kind of situation where it brought up feelings of jealousy, or maybe you were around certain situations or people that elicited a jealous response from your partner, and it just brought a lot of disharmony towards this relationship or situation. But you, it's like with the chariot or the archer, you're ready to move forward from this. In the past, it was like you had a sense of independence, a sense of tradition held by your personal values and beliefs. Maybe you wanted to stay tight and stay strong to your own personal values and beliefs. But it's just one thing after another. You're just putting out small fires one after the other, and it's just, I guess you feel jealous that, you know, you're done picking up the pieces on your own, or you're left picking up the pieces on your own. There's nobody else that's gonna help you if you don't go and help yourself and put the effort in yourself. Whatever it is, it seems to be broken in some kind of way. I don't know if you were trying to make a partner jealous or someone around you was trying to make you feel jealous. I don't know. But it definitely brought a lot of disharmony, which once was a very stable relationship. Now it's just constant fighting, constant struggle. And I think you're ready to just drop that burden, and move forward onto something new. Ace of Cups. This can be starting anew again, like maybe you could be meeting somebody new, a new romantic offer, or a new creative endeavor. The water of life. You're waiting for maybe you don't see this quite yet. Something brand new, a new romantic interest. Maybe you want to go towards someone brand new, someone you've been interested in for a really long time, or somebody wants to go towards you. A new path in life, maybe a move out of a certain town, or maybe even towns or homes, towns or states, or maybe you haven't met this person yet, or maybe you have, but you've failed to go towards it because you kept yourself stuck and oppressed into a situation that wasn't working. I think you're ready to move forward, though. Look at that, Wanderer. And you definitely have a new interest, as in like ready to start the journey again on your own, to have a new passion in life, a new endeavor, a new beginning, a new adventure even. How you see yourself celebrating. Four of bows, four of wands. This is stability. This is happiness. This is celebration. That's good, right? Maybe you pulled yourself out of something that was quite toxic and you moved forward into starting something brand new. Something that started to bring a lot of happiness and passion and bring a lot of joy back into your life. Because Leo, I see, it's like you got the fire back. It can be a water sign or somebody with water. It can be a Cancer. You could have a Cancer sun or moon. You could be a Cancer sun and a Leo moon. But it's like you're taking time out, like you're pulling yourself away. You pulled yourself out of some kind of mental prison and oppression. And you're getting a handle back onto yourself. Maybe you've been going through a time of anxiety or depression. And you've just been dealing with the struggle and day to day, but you're starting to feel that release. And now it's like a lot of the stress is kind of like it's slowly lifting off of you. It's a need to refocus. If your mind goes out into focusing on negative things, you have to refocus your mind. But it seems like I see a lot of excitement of going forward, and it seems like wherever you were was being so stuck and being so oppressed, and it's like a soul death of being stuck. This was a really long Mercury retrograde for you, and it seems like no matter what you did, no matter what effort, it just wasn't working. And now that you wanted to move forward towards something new, you like all of this vitality starts rushing back. You're starting to get your perspective back. And I think it was the fact that you couldn't move. It was that lack of movement and that lack of excitement, of that feeling of oppression that was kind of bringing you down. And now that you're starting something new, you're starting to get excited again about life, going on new horizons. Your environment, how friends, family, loves, how they see you, you're keeping to yourself. They feel like you're hiding something. They think that you're keeping secrets. You're not communicating with them. Maybe it's a lack of communication. It's a lack of being open or sharing like your plans. Because it's something that you're trying to protect. It's something like it's a sacred fire that you keep feeding, that you want to protect at all costs in order for that flame not to be distinguished. People are wondering what you're doing because you're not being very communicative. But maybe that's needed right now in order to protect your manifestation, whatever you're starting and whatever you're beginning. People are really curious as to what you're doing. They could even see you as someone who is extremely intuitive, or someone who can be quite mysterious. Maybe you tend to keep to yourself because you're always trying to move forward, and it seems like in the past, whenever you try to actually accept some kind of assistance, there was always some kind of hidden agenda. And so you started to keep to yourself, and you started to do things on your own, and maybe only do things on your own, to the point that that could be even detrimental. I mean, there's some people who's overly codependent and always needs help and assistance. And there's other people who can be, like starkly independent and stoic and who insist on doing things on their own and by themselves, to even to the point of your detriment, because maybe you've learned to do that because, it's like when people would see your vulnerabilities, they would try to take advantage of them, or even you, they would try to get in and take advantage of you. And it's like you enacted some boundaries. And maybe because you keep so much to yourself now, people are definitely curious about you. They see you as mysterious. They wonder what you're thinking, why you're not communicating, what are you hiding? They could even be having dreams about you. Your hopes and fears is to move forward. 0, this is Aries. This is the Full, starting a new journey. Not knowing what exactly to expect, but you're moving forward anyway, and you're letting excitement and enthusiasm and curiosity guide your path. You're following a dream with hope and optimism, and but you fear to do something brand new as well. Not only do you hope for something brand new, a new journey, a new adventure, you fear it as well. Maybe you've been in this state for so very long that it feels a bit alien to you to try to move away from it. Maybe you've lived in a certain kind of environment or relationship or situation where, you're so used to being oppressed by your environment or the people around you that you have all of this, you have a lot more freedom. And it's like before, you could just pass on that responsibility and blaming everybody else as to why you're stuck in some kind of way. But now you're not in that situation, and the only person keeping yourself stuck is you. Maybe because all of the struggle. Maybe because of the tradition. Maybe because of the comfort. And you're afraid to start off with something new because even though it seemed like hell, it was something that was so familiar to you, and you've been with this person or job or situation for so long that it almost felt like it became a part of you. Even though you wanted to run away from it, you fear running away from it as well because you're afraid about how it would change you in some kind of way. How would my life be altered? How would my personality be altered? But that's part of the excitement and the fool's journey, right? You're moving ahead to learn, to start something brand new, and that's where the excitement comes from. And it's a hope and a fear. What's the outcome? That's so much. Look at this. So the Three of Vessels landed right on the moon. Maybe you've been in a relationship or situation, or a long-term relationship, a common law marriage or a marriage, and they feel that you're moving towards someone new, that there's been a third party involvement into your relationship, and it brought on a lot of jealousy and mistrust, and that's kind of what broke this apart. But maybe you felt like you were ready to move forward as it is. Ooh, they see you as a fox, as someone sneaky, as someone who, or at least they suspect that there's been some kind of affair going on. Maybe there is. And maybe you're leaving this one relationship to go towards another. One, the shaman. The magician in reverse. Leo. I think you're leaving a relationship or marriage, or you could be, or someone is leaving a relationship of marriage and they're going towards a third party. The magician in the reverse is, it's someone who practices the sleight of hand. It's someone who can be manipulative. It can be someone who does things in the dark and for self-serving reasons. It can be a trickster, a liar. Maybe you're leaving an established situation to go towards a third party. But I feel like the person that you might be going towards is not very much on the up and up. They could be hiding something, or maybe this is you, that you're walking away towards something new. There's some sneakiness going on. There's some hidden agenda, and there's some secrets, and they see you as someone keeping secrets, and they suspect that you're keeping secrets. They feel it. Someone's very intuitive, the person that you're around. Or maybe you could be intuitive. And that you feel like your partner is leaving your established long-term relationship to go towards a third party, and you're like, and somebody is being left behind, and whoever's being left behind is just heartbroken because of this third party situation of being lied to and left behind. And this is like, you're starting off to something new, you're celebrating, and somebody here is just heartbroken. Maybe you decided to leave a long-standing situation because there was just too much struggle, there's too much jealousy. Or maybe somebody was just too gregarious or just too chatty or too flirty, and it's like somebody that was like, someone that maybe you were just bored of the situation. Maybe you just fell in love with somebody brand new, or maybe somebody got involved in your relationship. And but you know, it's never just the third party's fault. It's, you know, mainly it's the fault of your partner, because that's the person you trusted. Or maybe it could have been the fault of you, or maybe it could have been nobody's fault, and maybe just relationships just end. And you know what, it's just the way of the beast. It happens, things end, feelings change, people change, and sometimes your partner doesn't change with you or grow with you. But how did you leave the situation though? Were you on the up and up about it? Did you still kind of keep one thing going while you had other plans on the outside? And that's something to consider as well, because you know, it enacts a certain kind of karma to be like, to be hiding something like that, or deceitful in some kind of way like that, because you're actively hurting a partner that you cared about. And I'm sure you still care about this person. And could there have been a better way to handle it? Because not everybody that falls out of love is the worst person in the world. But how did you leave it? Did you give this person an opportunity, or you know, a fair chance to have a understanding? Or because somebody feels just heartbroken and obliterated because they, you know, it's like when they are being cheated on, or you know, it's not just the fact that they were left from somebody else. It's like a whole breaking of their own reality, of the way that they thought things were and the way that it was. And everything is different now because it's like they thought things were one way, and it turns out there is something totally else going on. And it's the shock of it, like, oh my God, like, how could you do that? Like, somebody here feels extremely abandoned, but I feel like whoever was left behind, it seems like they've always been resilient. They've been on their own for a really long time, and although it does hurt for them, This person seems really strong, as in like they're trying to just make it through day to day, because that's what they've always kind of done. This person isn't a stranger to heartbreak. And maybe you're playing mind games a little with the situation. Or somebody was playing mind games with you. Maybe somebody wanted to work with you in some kind of way. And this person was put in a situation, it seems like, over and over again, that other people would get involved in your situation. It could have been, like another love interest. It could have been a family interference. It could have been friends interference. It could have been a whole plethora of things. It could have been financial issues. Maybe you've gotten a relationship with someone throughout Mercury retrograde, and now this is like after this is kind of on the tail end and is leaving. It didn't last past it, and there was a heartbreak, and there could have been a third party. But maybe this person felt like this was a long time coming too, because this was like, this wasn't the first time. Or this has just been such a constant battle that even though they feel awful and left behind and heartbroken, they kind of knew that it was the best way to go about it. And if you didn't bring yourself to actually leave, then maybe you both would have been stuck in this situation that maybe you both weren't really happy in, but you've spent so much time together that you didn't even really remember what life was like without each other or before each other. And this is where that excitement that you have, that you're going forward to start something new. It's like you're being reborn again to start something new. But the way that it began is something that you should keep in mind, because, there can be a certain kind of karma that you pick up from that. And if this is like an infidelity, like it's a betrayal and it's a breaking of like someone's reality. It was like, wow, I had no idea. How could I not know? And how could you do that to me? And it just takes a while. It takes a long time. And that's even, maybe even worse, that this person really didn't expect you to leave for the other person. Even if there's been situations like this before. But I would be careful who you're going towards, because maybe they're not exactly who you thought that they will be or you expected to be either. And if you're leaving one situation, it's not always advised to jump into another situation without really just coming to terms with like what you're leaving behind, or transition and get to know yourself all over again on your own, because it's like jumping into one universe and dimension into another. You feel kind of alien and out of place, and like your equilibrium and balance is gone. And you may, if jumping into one situation into the next, you may find yourself feeling stuck again. Maybe even thinking about this past person because it was something that you haven't come to terms with or took time on your own to fully accept and heal from, or have an understanding from, or even learn the lessons from. But Mercury retrograde, what it really does, it brings people from back from the past that you failed to have that closure with, to allow you to give yourself another chance to have that closure with. It's like a karmic retribution, or, or a leveling out somehow. You moved forward from things, and even if it's not a relationship, it can be I feel like it is a third party though. All of these threes here. You're moving on to something new. You're feeling a lot more vitality. But, maybe there could have been a better way to handle this. And with a little more empathy for the person that you've left behind. But, I don't want to judge because I'm not in your situation. I don't know. I don't know how hard it is. I don't know if this person ever cheated on you before and this is like a payback, or I don't know if this is like something that was just in passing. And I don't really know the full situation. All I know is that, this was a standing situation, and the struggle made you move forward, and it had to do with jealousy in a third party, and somebody that was left behind is heartbroken while you're starting off something new. Just be careful about who you're really going towards. Do you really know this person? Because everything is shiny and new and exciting when you first start, but it's like the devil is in the details. Who are you really going towards? Why are you going towards it? Like, what's your intentions? What's their intentions of wanting you around? Because I feel like something is being, like, hidden in some kind of way. Advice or insight. Advice and insight. Advice and or insight. In the past, it was a lot of excitement, adjacent possibilities. The sky's the limit. You were on your own. This person that you left behind possibly was on their own for a really long time. And it seems like they've gained resiliency because of it. And whoever, maybe this was even you, you gained an independence, and because of the endurance that you had to endure and the heartbreak that you had to go through, or maybe this person has. And you know, we all learn lessons from each other. And sometimes the people we meet is not only is it lessons, it's also karma. What's that? All of these are upside down. Maybe in the past, this person was on their own. You may have like met them when they were at their down point. They could have been like, you know, had traditional values and beliefs. Maybe they were going through a lot of trouble, a lot of complications, a lot of struggles, and because of a lack of movement, this could have been due to Mercury retrograde, this could have been due to somebody just, this person tends to have a lot of people around that could be kind of manipulative and, you know, or maybe this person was just going through a depression and they were on their own, and it's like, yeah, they had potential to start something new, they had potential to start anything, but they failed to move forward because it was like they were going through a depressive state. Or maybe you were. Maybe somebody could have been suffering with some kind of depression, which held them back, depression and anxiety. Maybe due to a lot of heartbreaking situations. And they decided to move forward. Seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel. Oh, she's beautiful. Now the seventh chakra is the crown chakra. It represents states of higher consciousness and divine connection. When it's upside down, it's cynicism, disregarding what is sacred, closed-mindedness, and disconnection with spirit. And maybe you did feel cut off with spirit because of all the trouble and the heartache and all of it, the betrayal that you went through, or maybe this person went through, or maybe you collectively went through, and you felt like, you know, like there was no hope in the situation anymore. And through all the struggle, it just became, you know, a lack of listening, a lack of communication, a lack of, like, you felt cut off from the divine. And, you know, that's when you're having this depressive state. And it's like you got lost within it for a while. You're moving ahead. What's ahead of you is a new emotional beginning. Ace of Cups, it's something brand new. But it's the templed path in reverse. Whatever you were going towards, and it's something that you had a lot of deep emotion for, and maybe it wasn't even, I feel like it was a third person, like it was a third party involvement that kind of brought the disharmony, and now there's a new beginning that was brought out because of it. You felt like this union wasn't protected, it wasn't guided, and like now you're moving ahead, but there was like this templed path in reverse. It's like the templed path is, this is the journey into spirituality. It's like you've lost like the spirituality, or somebody has. Maybe you need to reconnect to that in some kind of way. Maybe this third level involvement came in, and what once was a spiritual divine connection, it just, there's a time that just ran its course. And no relationship is meant to last forever. No situation is meant to last forever. The only thing that's remains constant is change. And you're definitely moving ahead because you have new lessons to learn. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's ahead of you. But it seems like you have an impatience to get there. And maybe that impatience is something that you have to be aware of, because maybe you don't know this person as well as you think you do. Because it feels like there's something that's being hidden, whether you're hiding it or the person you're going to is hiding something. Did you give yourself a chance to know this person? Did you give a chance to really iron things out of what you mutually want? Because sometimes when you act so impulsively, you spend enough time with this person to realize that you don't really know them all that much at all. And sometimes it's like the devil is in the details. It can be something that can be kind of dangerous and detrimental. Maybe this is something even long distance, like, like somebody found some long distance, like communication, that you're having long distance communication with somebody overseas. And this was a long standing relationship. Or maybe you had a planned trip coming up, and you had a friend or a love interest, or you met a love interest, and now you're going to see them and you're meeting them for the first time, or you're meeting them after not seeing them for a really long time, if this is something that was established or going on. But there's something to consider here, because there's a lack of patience to really fully understand what you're going towards, or understand like what you're really involved with, or you're about to involve yourself in. Two of Arrows, injustice. there was an injustice that was done. You know, this is also what you don't see. Maybe you're unjust to the relationship or situation you left behind, or the person who left you behind. But maybe there's a need to not be so impulsive into moving ahead and actually use your head and heart decision. And not to act impulsively in some kind of way. This could also be government. You know, like with the Hierophant, that could also be seen as government organizations. This could also be a job, a creative endeavor, a business partnership in some kind of way, and somebody feels like they got screwed over. And it could be a business or a shared business. It could be a relationship. I'm not sure how it shows up for you, but there is definitely a feeling of betrayal, that something was hidden and something that was done not very on the up and up. And what you don't see is that there's a need to not be impulsive, to think, the thinking man, bottom of the deck. Think before you act and do. What is it that you expect from the situation that you're getting out of this or you're going towards? And if it's really right for you, how well do you know this person that you're going towards? Because maybe they're hiding something too. Man holding a coin. Somebody wants to give you some kind of offer. Maybe you should be wary. The garden and the gate. Somebody's on the outside looking in. Somebody wants to offer you something. Or maybe you want to offer somebody something. Maybe this isn't even really all that established all that much. You left something that was established and you want to go towards something new. Maybe because you have an interest in someone in particular, but it wasn't ever really established. And you want to give someone new an offer. It's like, and you wanted to free yourself up to go towards it, or somebody that you were dealing with left this established situation to go towards somebody else, to give somebody else an offer. Door of value. Reversed. Maybe you left one situation to go towards another, or to free yourself up to go towards another. but maybe this is like out of the, this is like that saying, you're jumping out of the pot into the fryer, Storm warning. Oh, underneath the deck. Be careful who you're going towards. If you're leaving somebody to go towards somebody else, be careful. Because I feel like the person who you're going towards and you're leaving behind another, the person who you're going towards is not who you think they are or expect them to be. There's something that you have to be aware of and be careful of. And it may lead to kind of like a karmic justice in a way, to set things more level from the injustice that happened. Maybe you feel like there's something on the horizon, or there's something to be aware of on the horizon. Maybe somebody offered you something, or you offered something to somebody, and you may not get the results that you want. And it would behoove you to approach things really slowly, and to not to have a ton of expectations, but be aware and get to know whoever you're dealing with, because there's something on the horizon. And, like, everything looks sweet and shiny, and when you first meet it at first glance, but then when you get to know the person or a situation, sometimes when you fold it back, it's not as nice as you thought it would be. And it could lead to something like pretty detrimental. And I would just be aware of that. But that's what I got for you, Leo. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Donation box below if you feel moved to do so. But that's what I got for you. Bye.